Queen Nefrtiti, whose name means, the beautiful she came, is the wife of King Amenhotep IV, who later became Akhenaten, and she was considered one of the most powerful women in ancient Egypt. She lived a short period after her husband's death, and helped Tutankhamun to take over the king, and this beautiful queen had a high status during her husband's rule. She belongs to the 18th dynasty, lived in the 14th century BC, and like what happened with her husband, her name was erased from historical records and her pictures were distorted after her death. Nefrtiti is famous for the bust of her depicted face, carved on a piece of limestone, in one of the finest pieces of art from the ancient era, and it is the most famous drawing of Queen Nefrtiti. Queen Nefrtiti participated in her husband's worship of the new religion, which is the worship of Aten, the power of the sun disk. During the early years of her husband's rule, Nefrtiti changed her name according to the change of her creed to Nefrtiti, which means the Aten that rises because the beautiful has come. Nefrtiti supported her husband during the religious and social reforms, and then moved with him to Akhenaten or Tel El Amarna. She appeared with him during ceremonies and rituals, and in family scenes, even in traditional scenes of military campaigns, in which she was depicted as she was eliminating enemies. Nefrtiti is remembered by the bust of her depicted face, carved on a piece of limestone in one of the most wonderful pieces of art from the ancient era. It is the most famous drawing of Queen Nefrtiti. It was found by the German Egyptologist, Ludwig Borchardt, on December 6, 1912, in the sculptor Thutmosis's workshop in Tel El Amarna. Borchardt fled the complete, unscratched statue to his home in Cairo's Zamalek district. From there he fled to Germany, hidden among wrecked pieces of worthless pottery, which were sent to Berlin for restoration. There is another statue of the head of Nefrtiti in the Egyptian Museum of red quartzite and decorated with touches of ink. It is no less accurate than the head in Berlin, but it is less famous. How did Nefrtiti die? One of their daughters, Mikhet Aten, died, and their grief for her was depicted in some wall paintings. After the death of their daughter, Nefrtiti disappeared from the royal court and was replaced by her daughter Meritaten, taking the title of Great Royal Wife. After the 12th year of Akhenaten's rule, Nefrtiti disappeared and there was no mention of her. It is believed that she died and was buried in the tomb of Aten's sister. It is also believed that Tutankhamun transferred her mummy with his father Akhenaten when Aten's sister was deserted. Nefrtiti did not happen to fascinate the whole world with a statue as he was fascinated by the beautiful Queen Nefrtiti, the Queen of Ajapet, the mother of the Kamites, since the archaeologist Borchardt discovered it in 1912 and took it with him to Germany to make the statue a symbol of beauty, art and grandeur in Germany. Hitler had a good relationship with King Farouk and a request came to him from Egypt returns the statue to the Egyptian Museum at first. Hitler agreed to send it to Egypt, and his advisors told him that it is a statue that has no equal in the world. And he became a national German symbol for them, Nefrtiti. She is the beautiful, strong woman who runs everything around her as if she is the center of the universe. The genius artist Ahmose from the era of Akhenaten is the one who carved this head to live for eternity. It represents the strength, beauty and creativity that emerges from the land of the Nile. The great Kemet Empire who among us saw this the statue was not fascinated by it, Nefrtiti. She screamed at the top of her voice while she was in terrible silence. I am from Egypt. I am from Egypt, land of civilization.